You have brought nothing but shame to this family. Get out of my house now!
Mom, please don't say that. It wasn't her fault.
Everyone called her the perfect friend. Always present, always caring. No one knew she had been quietly planning to take my child for months. My people, you see, get your popcorn and drink. Sit down, because what you're about to hear is a true life story. The day Adaeze buried her third pregnancy, she did not cry at the hospital. She waited until she was home, until her husband Emeka had fallen asleep from exhaustion and grief. And then she walked to the backyard and screamed into the night sky until her throat burned raw. 3 pregnancies, 3 losses, 7 years of marriage, and still her arms remained empty. Emeka was a patient man, a civil engineer who spoke in measured words and solved problems with quiet precision. He told her always that she was enough, that they were enough. But Adaeze had grown up in a family where a woman's worth was counted in the children she carried, and no amount of Emeka's gentleness could erase the arithmetic her mother-in-law did every time she visited. 3 miscarriages, Mama Emeka would say, clicking her tongue. Something is wrong somewhere. Have you gone to the pastor? Have you seen the herbalist in Oguta? A tree that refuses to bear fruit must be examined at the root. Adaeze was 36. Time, she felt, was no longer on her side. It was her closest friend, Obioma, who first noticed her change in her. Obioma had known Adaeze since secondary school. They had shared textbooks, heartbreaks, and secrets that no one else in the world carried. When Adaeze lost her third baby, it was Obioma who slept beside her for 5 nights, saying nothing, just being present
right,
like
sweetie,
a warm
I'm right
stone.
here.
I know, thank
But
you.
after the 5th night, something in Adaeze's eyes shifted. The grief did not leave, it simply rearranged itself into something quieter and more frightening, a stillness that Obioma could not name. Then, Obioma discovered she was pregnant. She told Adaeze first, before her husband Ikechukwu, before her own mother. She sat across from her friend in that familiar kitchen, holding both her hands, watching her face carefully. Adaeze smiled, a wide, beautiful smile that never reached her eyes. God is good, she said softly. God is so good. That night, Obioma lay awake for a long time. The friendship continued normally on the surface. Adaeze came for Obioma's antenatal visits sometimes, sat in the waiting room, held her hand during the harder days of nausea. She brought food, vitamins, and shea butter for stretch marks. She was, everyone said, the picture of a devoted friend. But Obioma began to notice small things. The way Adaeze's eyes lingered on her stomach, not with tenderness, but with something close to hunger. The way she asked too precisely about the delivery date, the hospital choice, the medical team. The way she once said while rubbing Obioma's belly, "If anything ever happened to me, I know you would take care of my child." And when Obioma laughed and said, "Nothing will happen to you," Adaeze looked at her strangely and said, "And if anything happened to you, I would take care of yours." The words made the air feel thin. In the 6th month of Obioma's pregnancy, Adaeze came to visit and did not leave for 3 days. On the 3rd evening, after Ikechukwu had gone to bed early from a long week of work, Adaeze sat across from Obioma in the sitting room and folded her hands like a woman about to confess in church. "I need to tell you something," she said. Obioma set down her cup of tea. What followed was not a request. It was a carefully constructed plan that Adaeze had clearly been building for months. Each piece fitted together with the quiet desperation of a woman who had run out of other options. She wanted Obioma's baby. Not to steal, not violently. She framed it as a gift, a temporary arrangement that would become permanent. Obioma would tell Ikechukwu the baby had died during childbirth. Adaeze would have paid a hospital staff member already. The records would reflect what they needed to reflect. Obioma would get pregnant again soon. She was young, healthy, fertile. She would have more children, but Adaeze had nothing. Adaeze was running out of time. I am not asking you to lose a child, Adaeze said, her voice barely above a whisper. I am asking you to give your child a mother. The room went completely silent. Obioma stared at her friend, this woman she had known for 22 years, whose secrets she had kept, whose tears she had dried, and felt something crack open inside her chest. Not with anger, with grief. The grief of watching someone you love disappear into their own pain so completely that they could no longer see what they were asking. Adaeze, she said slowly, do you hear yourself? Adaeze's eyes filled. Please. You are asking me to lie to my husband, to tell him our child is dead, to let my baby grow up thinking his real mother did not want him? Obioma's voice broke. Do you understand what you are saying to me? I understand everything, Adaeze whispered, and I am still asking because I have nothing left. Obioma said no. She said it quietly, without screaming, without drama. She took her friend's hands, looked into her eyes and said, no, I love you, but no. Adaeze left that night. She did not call for 2 weeks. When she finally did, her voice was different, hollowed out like a room after furniture has been removed. She apologized. She said she did not know what had come over her. She said the grief had made her someone she did not recognize. Obioma forgave her, but she told Ikechukwu everything. He listened in silence. When she finished, he exhaled slowly, rubbed his face and said, this is what desperation looks like when no one catches it in time. He did not hate Adaeze. He pitied her with the kind of pity that comes from understanding, not from superiority. The weeks that followed were the loneliest of Adaeze's life. Emeka had noticed the distance between her and Obioma. He asked once, she deflected, but Emeka was a man who paid attention to small things, and the circles under his wife's eyes had grown darker, her silences longer, her prayers more frantic. One Saturday morning, he sat beside her on the veranda with 2 cups of tea, handed her one, and said nothing for a long time. Then, whatever is eating you, Adaeze, eat it together with me. That is what I am here for. She broke. She told him everything, not just the plan she had proposed to Obioma, but the years before it, the shame she had swallowed silently, the way she had stopped looking at herself in mirrors, the way she had started measuring her value in what her body could not produce, the terror that had been growing quietly in her chest since the 3rd miscarriage, the terror that said, you are not enough, you will never be enough, this marriage will not survive you. Emeka listened without interrupting. When she finished, he set down his cup, turned to face her fully, and said something that shattered and rebuilt her in the same moment. Emeka, I did not marry a womb. I married you. She wept so hard she could not breathe. He held her through it. He did not tell her everything was fine. He did not offer solutions. He simply held her and let her grief be as large as it needed to be, and did not flinch from its size. 3 months later, they began the adoption process. It was not Adaeze's first choice. For a long time, it did not feel like a choice at all. It felt like defeat. But Emeka walked every step beside her, and slowly the feeling changed. The child they were matched with was a boy, 2 years old, with serious eyes and small hands, and a habit of tilting his head when he was thinking. The first time Adaeze held him, he looked at her steadily, solemnly, as though he was deciding something important. Then he reached up and touched her face. She did not cry in the center. She waited until she was in the car. Then she cried the way she had cried in the backyard 7 years before, fully, completely. Except this time, the sound was different. This time, it was not an open wound. This time, it was a door. Obioma was the first person she called. His name is Tobena. It means my father is good. There was a long pause on the other end. Then Obioma said softly, "Can I come and see him?" I was going to ask if he would be his godmother. The silence stretched again, warm and full. Yes, Obioma said. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Some hungers are so deep they can swallow a person whole. Some pain, left untreated long enough, curled inward and becomes something unrecognizable. But if caught, if named out loud to the right person at the right time, it can still be turned toward life instead of destruction. Not every longing must be satisfied the way we imagined it. Not every empty arm must be filled with what we originally asked for. Sometimes the child that was meant for you arrives by a different road entirely. And sometimes the hardest thing love requires is not sacrifice, but surrender.